What is up, y'all? I am here with some Black Panther 2 news, some Wakanda Forever news. First, I want to talk about what Ryan Coogler said about Namor and him being a dream antagonist. Of course, I called him a dreamy antagonist in my thumbnail because look at him. Are you serious? And then secondly, I want to talk about what Kevin Feige said about not recasting Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, all that stuff. So let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, before we get into all of this stuff, I think based off of what I'm seeing, like reports and stuff that I'm seeing, I'm hearing that Black Panther 2 is going to be 2 hours and 41 minutes long. Now, let me tell you something. That's exactly what we like to see. That's exactly what we like to hear. I'm gonna be seated. I'm gonna be seated. I also saw some people saying that we might be getting a Black Panther, another Black Panther trailer on this coming Monday or something. I don't know. I would not be surprised. Don't take that, like, look that shit up, honestly, because I just heard people say it, so I don't know how true that is. But I would not be surprised because what I'm pulling from this video is Empire, and Empire is coming out. They're coming out with an exclusive interviews you talking about with the cast, and of course new photos we haven't seen before on September 29th. And so they're teasing some stuff. They've released some articles that I'm going to be pulling up right now. And the first one is just talking about Namor and what Ryan Coogler said about him and all this stuff. So I want to get into it. I'm so excited. Okay, so it says, with Black Panther, Ryan Coogler broadened out the scope of the MCU significantly. The arrival of Wakanda in all its glory felt like a whole new world had opened up, a place that had audiences clamoring to return to, which luckily they soon did in Avengers Infinity War. And while long awaited sequel Black Panther Wakanda Forever will in part take audiences even deeper into the technologically advanced African nation, Coogler's upcoming film will also introduce viewers once again to a whole new world. A whole new world. Namor, Marvel's infamous Submariner, is coming, and he's taking us beneath the waves. Come on. A mainstay of Marvel Comics since the late 30s, Namor, also the leader of an advanced civilization, has often clashed with Black Panther on the page, making him a prime candidate to strike up some drama in Wakanda Forever. The contrast between T'Challa and Namor, their characters and their nations, just leaps off the page, says Coogler of the comic book runs. He's a dream antagonist, and he goes on to, oh my God, look at my man. Whew. Look at my man. Oh, he's so fine. Y'all can't say this man not fine. Like, oh my God. Yeah, hey boo, what's up? Listen, y'all cannot put Wakanda security up to me because this man, I'd be like, you want to come in? We got some lunch for you. We got some lunch for you. Namor, what's up, boo? Do not put me in charge of security. Namor will be played here by Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta, previously seen in blah, 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 with this incarnation of the character inspired by the culture and history of Mesoamerica. You can take Atlantis from Greek myth, or you can adapt from real culture, argues Huerta. Rather than the ruler of Atlantis on screen, he's the ruler of Talocan, and he's drawn to the surface by the ramifications of T'Challa's decision in Black Panther's final reel to reveal the truth of Wakanda to the world. That decision puts Talocan in jeopardy, Huerta explains, and Talocan has to take action to protect themselves. One detail that is carrying over from the comics, according to Huerta, his Namor is indeed a mutant. Absolutely. You better bring the mutants in. Hey, we need it. For comic fans, it's a chance to finally see one of the longest running Marvel characters finally take to the big screen. Though there were initial plans for Namor to be teased a few years ago. And listen to this shit. Ryan is just sickening. I love it. He said, look, so Ryan had a pitch for a tag at the end of Black Panther, right? So Kevin Feige is saying this. Apparently, Ryan Coogler had pitched for the camera to push through the palace in Wakanda, and then we'd see wet footprints leading up to the throne. And I thought that would have been so sickening. Like Ryan, Coogler's mind, like his mind is powerful. Okay, so I can't wait to see what they are going to be serving us. And obviously, when you're talking about antagonists, right, it would make sense that Ryan Coogler's like, of course, you know, this guy is the best antagonist. It will create for a dynamic story when you're talking about, you know, you don't know who to root for. I love those kinds of, I guess you could call them antagonists. This child, I already got the word for it. I love those kinds of antagonists, because is Namor really wrong? Like, okay, if there is something that happened, right, at the end of, or just at the end of Black Panther, when we all saw that they said, you know, we're going to release all this technology into the world, right? So, you know, when we're talking about rulers of their nations, or at least in the context of this story, they try to do what's best for, in the context of the story. Let's be real about that, because not rulers in general, okay, not rulers in real life, but rulers in the context of the story are trying to do what's best for their people. So if Wakanda thinks the best thing for their people or the world is to just release their technology or whatever, and they do that, and in doing that, they fuck up somebody else's civilization, and Namor's like, okay, girl, I understand that y'all thought that y'all was doing the best thing for y'all civilization, but what about mine? And he comes up there and literally power washes the fuck out of Wakanda. Are you serious? I'm going to get, I want to see it. I want to see that story. Okay. So yeah. And something else that I want to see, like I promised y'all, listen, do not put a shirt on Tenochtitlan. Are you serious? Don't put a shirt on his ass. He already swimming in the water. I'm glad y'all already know what we want to see. This man is fine as hell, and he's talented. Like, are you serious? Let's go. Next article. Okay. So this one, I'm sure, is going to be polarizing, but Kevin Feige, okay, so let's read this. Kevin Feige on not recasting T'Challa in the MCU. It was much too soon. And I agree. I'm gonna start in the middle of the first paragraph here. But following the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman, Ryan Coogler's sequel, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, will be a very different kind of Black Panther movie, one without T'Challa at its center, though still very much about his legacy. Marvel made the decision not to recast the role and instead find a different approach for the sequel and the ongoing story of Wakanda, a move taken to honor Boseman. But the choice has also seen pushback, with some fans concerned that Marvel no longer telling stories with T'Challa might diminish the importance of a character who has come to represent so much to so many. Speaking to Empire in our world exclusive Black Panther Wakanda Forever cover feature, Marvel boss Kevin Feige opened up on the decision not to recast T'Challa. He said it just felt like it was too soon to recast. He says, Stan Lee always said that Marvel represents the world outside your window, and we had talked about how, as extraordinary and fantastical as our characters and stories are, there's a relatable and human element to everything we do. The world is still processing the loss of Chad, and Ryan poured that into the story. So I can't wait to see that side of the upcoming movie, like what Ryan does with that. But in my opinion, I really think that it was the best decision not to recast T'Challa, because I mean, even in the beginning, all the fans were like, yeah, don't recast him, maybe not all of them, but it was definitely like, you could tell that people were still processing the loss, right? So I think that there was definitely less pushback when Chadwick first passed, right, than it is now against, like, when we're talking about recasting, like, you hear some people talking about, recast it. And I think it would be crazy as hell. I think it would be crazy as hell for Chadwick to have passed, you know, in the span of, in the time between the first and the second movie, and then cast a whole other person that's supposed to be T'Challa in his place, and like act like everybody's supposed to pretend, you know. I don't know. I think it would be way too crazy and way too soon. And I understand that things like this happen all the time, you know, or it has happened multiple times in history, in show business, where you know, your main actor or actors, whatever, die and roles are recast and the show keeps going, or the movie keeps going. But I think in this case, especially given like the huge impact that Chadwick had, it just wouldn't, like, watching somebody else try to be T'Challa right now, it just wouldn't give me nothing. Like, and Black Panther is a mantle. It's a mantle. So I don't get what's the big idea. What's the big deal if you let somebody else have the shit, you know, especially while we process what happened. So I don't know. I think even as much as pushback as they get now, you can't win for losing, honestly, especially with Marvel fans. No shade, like, especially with some of these fan bros and shit, like, you can't really win for losing. Like, it would be one thing if you recast it and another thing if you didn't, you know. uproar regardless. So I think they're taking the best route to not recast, to just give us a spin on it. It's a Wakanda movie, right? Black Panther's the mantle. Y'all be okay. I think this is the best decision. So let me know what y'all think about this. I'm so excited. Thank y'all for watching the video, and I will check y'all out later. Make sure that you're going over to patreon.com/AvatarAdrian, because there are a lot of goodies over there for you. From behind the scenes content, to accessing my super unfiltered thoughts, to helping me choose the types of videos that I make. Also, there is a tier that gives you access to my private Discord server, the official private Discord server for Avatar Adrian, where all the patrons who signed up for that can hang out, we can talk. You also get weekly shout outs with the last Patreon tier, the highest Patreon tier, as well as other perks. So get into it.